instructions for stitching together 12 by 12 layouts that have been scanned in two separate parts. On my screen you'll see a scrapbook layout of my daughter Hannah. One side here is the left side of the layout, and then the other side is the right side of the layout, and there are pieces that overlap. And what this tutorial is going to focus on is layering these two parts of the image together and stitching it so that it appears as one seamless 12 by 12 image of our layout. I'm in Photoshop CS3 and I'm on a Mac, but if you don't have Photoshop CS3, if you're using Elements or if you're in Windows, the process is basically the same, so you shouldn't worry if some of the minute details are different. You can still get a good idea of the overall process here. So the first step is to take the left side of the layout, and we're going to increase the canvas size of this portion of the image. So I'm going to Image, Canvas Size, and this brings up a dialog. We're going to make this canvas size 12 by 12 inches. This portion here, this little box with the arrows, it tells you where your image that exists already is going to end up once we've increased the canvas size. So we're going to put that on the left since it's the left side of the layout. So what we've got now is space at the bottom, space at the side. Since we did make it a 12 by 12 layout, we have this space at the bottom, and this is because most scanners don't scan 12 inches tall. They only go 11.7, so this is where that white space shows up, is that it has cut off the bottom of our layout when we scanned it. It's not something that I really worry about too much unless it's a special circumstance. So the next step is to grab our second half of the layout. We're going to select all of it. You can use Control A if you're in Windows. And go to the first half, and we're going to copy it, and then we're going to paste it. And this is going to put it in a new layer right on top. And we're going to use our Move tool, which I grabbed here. You can press V to make that active. And then I'm moving this around. It's in a separate layer. As you can see down here in the bottom right corner, it's in a top layer. And so we are going to use some of the landmarks in our layout, so to speak, to line this up. And right here we can see I'm using the text as a basis for where to put this, and it works pretty well. It might not be perfect, but it's pretty close. So I'm going to line that up as best we can. I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to check it out here. Yeah, you can see that the bottom half of the layout isn't quite as perfectly lined up. So I'm going to switch that just a little bit, and then we'll go back up top and see how we can adjust that from there. So what I'm going to do here is, because it's a little off, I suspect it's because the image was actually scanned at different angles in the different sides. So I'm going to go under the Edit menu, Transform, and Rotate. And that is going to give me a little box that shows up just around that layer. You can see here. I'll zoom back in a little bit so you can see. And then I grab onto the corner of it, and it gives me a little curved arrow, and I'm going to just rotate it just a little bit. Too much and it'll overkill, and too little and it won't do much for us, but we'll see what happens here. And I'm going to go back into my zoom tool and zoom back in. See where we're at. And that's not too bad. I'm not going to get too picky because you can get the idea. And yeah, that turned out very nicely actually. So I'm going to fit that on screen, and we're going to crop it. Excuse me. We're going to crop it to 12 by 12. And remember that we had only 11.7 inches of our layout, but we're going to crop it so that it's 12 by 12 anyway. It's kind of cheating a little bit, but we don't mind, especially in this kind of a layout where the edges really don't have that big of an impact. So we crop that down. And as you can see there, it looks pretty good. And sometimes you'll have a little bit of differentiation in color, and that's a bit of an advanced topic you can change the change the brightness and contrast to adjust for that. There's a couple other ways you can deal with it, but that's all for now. Thanks for watching.